Hello and welcome to this video where we will be assembling and then installing the grit guard for the MAG-8200. And if you're happen to catch this video and looking for a video on the 8100, the process is the same for both the 8100 and 8200. So let's get started. When you received your 8200 or 8100, you got a pack of these 4 parts which make up the grit guard. The 2 side pieces are identical, but they do have a top and bottom, so they only fit one way. You won't have to bend or push or force anything. Everything lines up. And then you have the bottom portion and the top portion. So what I like to start with is the sides. So get your 5/16 driver and the self-tapping screws that came with the unit. And we'll first start by setting the side, which goes on the inside of the lips. And get those 3 screws first put in. Then we'll do the other side. Now we can put the bottom on, which again, the lips are all on the outside. So currently you're seeing the grit guard upside down. We're putting on the bottom. One nice thing is if you've had a MAG-9000 or 8000 in the past, our older machines had the grit guard open on the bottom. So particulate and heavy grit would fall to the floor if you didn't have a dust collector. One of the improvements we made over the 8100 and 8200 is that we made the grit guard larger, so it stops any other stray sparks from getting out the side, so it got wider, as well as putting a bottom on it gave people who didn't get a dust collector at least a way to contain a lot of that mess, so you don't have it all going onto the floor like, again, with a lot of other machines out there. Everything just gets blown everywhere all over the floor, whereas all the new units here from Magna-Matic very nicely contain that grit even without dust collection. So now we have 2 holes up here on the machine, and there are 2 holes underneath the machine. The 2 underneath get the self-tapping screws, and the 2 up here get a button head screw with a nylock nut. So what's sometimes easier is, because we do have different hole placements between the 8200 and the 8100, to make sure you've lined up with the correct ones here. First quick tip is take the grinding wheel out. It'll give you more room to work. And the next tip is I like to connect the bottom to the sharpener first, then I very easily see which holes line up. So we can do that by turning the machine on its side. So I'll tip it back here to expose the bottom. And then we'll take the grit guard, turn it on its side as well. And the lips just fit inside the same way onto the base of the unit. We'll put these 2 screws in. Now we'll tip the machine back up again. And for the 2 button head screws and the nylock nuts, you'll need a 3/8 wrench and a 1/8 Allen. So the button is on the inside. Locate the hole, and then that'll line up nice and easy because, again, we located off the bottom, so we don't have to hunt for which hole that goes into. And the nut is inside the grit guard. And we'll tighten that up. And make sure those are, of course, nice and tight. All right, and now we have the grit guard installed. What we can do next is put the grinding wheel back on that was on there, and that is a 1/2-inch wheel. Since we've got the 1/2-inch wide work table in the modular work table set right now, remember when mounting the 1/2-inch wide grinding wheel, the grinding wheel goes on first to the arbor because it has to be in line with the rounded work table. Then the arbor spacer slides on, and then lastly, the arbor nut. And remember, it is a left-handed thread, so you have to go counterclockwise to turn it on. And we do have a plus sign with an arrow to indicate the direction for tightening. And we'll just snug that. And then we'll quick grab our spanner wrench here, just to give it one last little tightening. And again, you don't need the arbor wrench to tighten a wheel. We don't want to over torque it. Every time you turn the machine on, it will tighten itself. So we'll just hold the wheel gently and just a light snug. That's all we need there. We'll grab the front cover here. The 2 tabs fit below into the 2 slots. The catch clamps come around on each tab. Clamp that closed, and we're ready to start grinding. Thank you for watching.